Today, I want to talk to you, yes you, about the proper habitat for raising ducks. So, as you can see, we maintain beautiful landscaping in a beautiful yard and a vegetable garden with vegetables in it, and yet they don't eat it all. And the reason for this is, one, we have the proper amount of ducks for the grazing area. We could even handle a few more ducks here and things would be all right. But the main reason is the characteristic of the duck. So one failure I want to point off right off the bat that most duck owners do is they raise their ducks with chickens. Now, chickens are straight up predators. Like, they are predators. And the behavior of a chicken is so much different than a duck that it's much like taking someone who is, likes to be outside in nature and having them live with a bunch of gamers and people who are just always focused on their devices. So there's just completely different mindset there, Not that they couldn't get along, because I've definitely seen ducks and chickens get along, but, it's just not good for long term. So let me talk a little bit about the difference in characteristics, especially when it comes to food. Now, you may have seen me mention this in other videos, and I just personally love the behavior of ducks and their feeding habits. And I wanted to make a special video just about ducks themselves because they're just such a precious gem. But look at this food. You see this food dish? They came in early. They all ate. They all got a little snack, filled up their crop a little bit. Not all the way, but they filled it up a little bit, just so they had a little food to run around early on. And look at them now. Just laying there, happy and content. Because the moment they got some grain in their belly, what'd they do next? Well, they came over here and they went into the pond. And going into the pond, you see that little green hue? What do they do first? They come in, they swim in, they go poo, release that into there, which feeds the clams down below. Adds in a little bit more nitrogen, which gives us this hue because we have spirulina. Yeah, pond scum, spirulina, growing in the pond, like it should, like we want it to. They'll come in here, snack on that algae, and snack on the little critters and the rocks swimming through that algae. And then they'll come out and they'll roam around the yard. And they'll start eating the slugs. And they'll start eating the worms. And they'll start eating any bugs they can get their hands on. So we were having these little kind of like, almost like a stink bug. I'm not exactly sure what they are. These little tiny guys that were really coming in high numbers around this area. And by allowing the ducks to have access to this entire side, if you notice, the ducks, not all times of the year, but the ducks have access to every part of the yard, at least some point of the year, that is not gravel. Everything else is gravel around. And the reason for this is because when you have debris, when you have plants growing around your house, what lives in plants? Bugs, critters. So that's a harbinger for bugs, especially along your house, because they can get inside, hide, and then come back out. It's great location for them. Look underneath anybody's house. It's full of spiders and bugs and all kinds of things. What do ducks eat? They eat bugs. They don't just eat worms and slugs like I talk about. They eat all kinds of bugs. I mean, if it's crawling, they're gulping it down. So spiders, it doesn't matter what it is, like they're gonna eat it. That's also the thing about having a pond, and why having a pond for ducks is key. And also, if you have a pond, having ducks is key, because the ducks eat the mosquito larvae. They'll just snack them down so quick. They love them. They will eat all the little nasty bugs and things that you don't want around your pond, which is great. And one failure that people have when it comes to raising ducks is they don't have a pond for their ducks. So, if you are going to raise ducks, if you're going to raise ducks, there's something you just have to have in mind from the get-go. Where are you going to put the pond? Where's the pond going to be? Because you're going to build yourself a pond because you need to. I mean, you don't have to. People raise ducks for a long time and everything, but if you want delicious duck eggs, if you want really clean ducks that do not smell, because that's the thing about ducks that people complain about, is the smell. Like, how can you stand the stinky ducks? They're so dirty. Ducks are so dirty. No, ducks are not dirty. It's the same thing with doves, commonly known as the domesticated dove, commonly known as pigeons. People think, pigeons are dirty. They're not dirty at all. They're as clean as their environment is. Look at these ducks. Look how clean and beautiful they look. Look at them. They're just gorgeous. Laying there, clean, enjoying their time under the deck. They have plenty of place to get clean. Look at all that grass that they can snack on and go through and clean themselves on. They have a pond with fresh, over 2,000 gallons of water that's running and churning that they can clean and bathe themselves with. And then this pond water goes and feeds all the plants around in the garden, the grass, nourishing and adding nutrients to it all, building a full ecosystem. And in here, if you're going to build yourself a pond, well, you're going to have to empty this with ducks. You have to empty a duck pond. They're going to fill it up. It's going to be full of muck. And do you want to go digging through stinky muck when it comes time and have no reward? No. That's why freshwater clams in your pond is necessary. We have to build ecosystems. That's where people have problems. That's why people have to involve chemicals and things, is because the ecosystem is not proper to sustain. So now, when it's time to empty the pond, what happens? We get rewarded with delicious freshwater clams that we can cook up. The little guys, boo, throw them back in. Wait for another few years or so until the next harvest with the ducks. But eventually that muck is going to have to be pulled out of there. And what's beautiful about that is super enriched micronutrients. And when you have clams in there filtering it, that's another level where you're breaking down the stench, you're breaking down the things. And then when you get the worms and things going down in there, they're breaking it down and they're making it nicer as well. And then getting yourself like crawfish, other life forms that are going to take that muck, that poop, and break it down further. So when you do have to drain, you have all these delicious things to eat. I mean, what's even better than just having clams when you can have crawfish as well? Currently, we only have clams, and we had goldfish, but, I think the girls found the goldfish. Yeah. Ooh, I think Opal's about to lay an egg. She might even do it right in front of us. Yeah, are you gonna lay an egg? She's super shy about this normally. She might even be pissed that I even have her on camera. Yeah. You gonna show everybody how you lay an egg? Or are you gonna get really mad at me for being here? She's like, Dad, you know I don't even like the camera. And here you are, like... Aw. You see her add a little bit to the nest. This holly berry is going to be loaded with holly berries this year. It is. It has so many blooms all around it. All right, let's not disturb her. As much as I'd like to capture that on film, she's like, Dad, just get the hell away from me. I'm like, all right, I'll get away from you. Anyways, the point of this video is talking about having a proper habitat for your ducks, a proper ecosystem, having that fresh water that they can get to that, having a nice shoreline too, where they can clean up, because they're gonna poop when they come in and out. And you want an area that can clean off easily. And then that way, most of their poo is over in the pond and in this area, so when it rains, all that nutrient just flows back into the pond and it's easily captured to redistribute, you know, every month or so or whatever when you go to do a good watering and drain the pond down. So you don't have to drain it far either. You just water everything with this water. And then if it's rainy time of the year, just wait a couple days. The rain will fill it back up as long as you don't go below the skimmer there. And then every once in a great while, like, you know, maybe every couple years or every, depending on how many ducks or what you have, would depend on how often you actually drain this down and refill it. Because the more ducks you have, the more poo and sediment you have going in your pond. But they have to have this. They have to. If you want good, clean, delicious eggs that smell great and taste great. Because that's one of the biggest things that I noticed. If you go to an Asian market, because most markets don't have duck eggs in America, except for Asian markets. They typically do. Not, you know, I'm not speaking for everywhere. You know, there are health food stores in different places that do get duck eggs. They're a lot more rare, but the duck egg is just so, it's so much more nutritious. It's so much more better for us. And one thing I want to show you guys about duck eggs is when you have your ducks in a clean environment, they lay clean eggs. So their bedding in there is all wood chip, and that gives them a nice clean bedding. And a lot of people use hay, which I started out using hay, and I get it. It's a cheap one to buy. It's cheaper than the wood. But the thing is it doesn't absorb like wood does. And I know we went to a darker area, but I want to show you these eggs. Look at that. We'll go right back outside. I'm just gonna grab a couple of these to show you. These eggs here have never been cleaned, ever. They were actually the eggs from today. So this, now that we are in better lighting, right here is a Mia egg. Mia laid this. You see those beautiful spirals? See how she has those really faint, beautiful spirals in her egg? And you see it's dirty now when you look closer on the camera. And this is a fawn egg. This is from Fawn, the Indian runner. See how it has almost a greenish tint? It's super long, pointy. Yeah. See how clean this is? There's no poop all over it. If you haven't raised chickens or ducks or anything and you've just only seen grocery store eggs, you're like, yeah, of course, it should be, you know, they're all clean like that. But no, when your chickens or your ducks are in a dirty environment and their food isn't proper, then they get shit all over the eggs. And not to say that they won't ever get poop on their eggs, because it does happen. You know, they do get some poo on those eggs every once in a while, especially if their nest is full of poop. So that's another thing when it comes to raising ducks and having a proper environment. You don't even have to clean the eggs if the area is clean. And then their bedding, look at this. Look at the beauty that's coming through. We're getting the strawberries popping out. See how white this mulch is? This is literally fresh right out of the coop. But I don't have to worry because you can literally see there is still duck poo in it. And that's fertilizing this. And you can't really notice that if you're not paying attention to it too now. And it won't be long and the rain will break that down and all you'll see is the nice chip. And plus we got all these plants coming up in here. This wood here underneath it, the soil already has mushrooms growing all the way through it. And so by adding this here with the manure in it, that will get those mushrooms to grow up into this top layer of mulch. And they're just wild ones, so I don't know what type of mushrooms will pop up, but there might be some good edibles in here, which would be great. And that's all provided by the ducks, making it just a gorgeous bed. All this is much older, but this is also duck bedding. And you can see that over time, the mushrooms, you see that white in the chip? These are mushrooms growing. See the little stringies, they hold them together. Isn't that pretty cool? So that is feeding nutrients into all the surrounding plants here. So I let my garlic go to seed, and look at, so there's little baby garlics popping up everywhere in all this mulch. Yeah, that's gonna grow some nice cloves of garlic. See right there? There's garlic popping up. There's a little grass right here. Pull that out. Yeah. Ducks, an amazing thing. An amazing, amazing creature. And one thing cool is this right here, and pull out of the garden. This is just a weed, right? And they'll snack on this fresh green. Here, fresh, see? Yeah, she's like, I want some worms with it though, Dad. Yeah. Maybe you didn't work so well. You want real worms. But when I pull out the grass, oftentimes worms will come up. And then those are snacks for them as well. So I get so much food for them right here around the land. Like, see, those artichokes aren't blooming, though we can eat the bases. I mean, the leaves, the stems there, those are really good. They're desired in France. But they're not destroying it. See the crown? It's still all there. They don't go into the heart and eat it out. They just eat the lowers around the side. Actually taking the older leaves off. See how they do that? See how they eat the sides? They're literally manicuring the old leaves off the bottom. I don't even have to do that. They're gardening for me. Yeah, they're gardening for me. One thing about birds is you get feathers, and you get feathers all over the place. And if you notice, do you see feathers? You might see one or two here or there, but you don't see a load of feathers all over the place. You might be thinking to yourself, well, how'd you do that? Like, do you guys go around and clean up all the feathers? No. We actually feed the wild birds here. The wild birds make nests. What's great for nest? Feathers. The wild birds come and clean up all the feathers from the ducks, and they absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. That's why having a key environment, having nature involved, where they can graze, they can have open area. These girls only go up in that coop at night to sleep. The whole day they get to wander around and graze, which saves me money on so many aspects. I don't use any slug treatment at all. There's no chemicals ever used on any of this land ever for any type of weed control or any of that. And they mow the grass. Look at, she's mowing the grass right now. Yeah. She doesn't kill the grass, she mows it. And look, she'll eat a little bit of grass and then she'll move, eat a little bit, and then move to another spot. See? Okay, let me get a little bit more over here. So they'll literally keep your lawn mowed. Last year, I mowed this grass twice. Twice last year. Because I just let them graze it. Once the blueberries are done, let them graze it and they'll keep the grass down. They keep it at that height right there. Just like this. So you get these kind of interesting clumps that form in the grass and it goes sideways, but once you block them out of the area, just a couple weeks later, those clumps spread out and then it all goes flat and looks like beautiful turf. So this all looked like this not long ago. And now, beautiful like that. So you just block them out of an area and all the little bumps will just magically go away. But they like to get underneath the sod in all kinds of different areas. And this is over a 20-minute video on why it's important to have proper habitat for your ducks. And I hope you learned a lot from this. Learn that it's about building an ecosystem. How can we build an ecosystem around the livestock that we have? These guys are great for producing eggs. We have 5 ducks. We eat eggs almost every day, and you've seen the basket of eggs in there. It's loaded with eggs. We have more eggs than we can eat. That's why we like to do baked goods every once in a while, and then like quiches, things like that. Ah! You hear that? Cloudy day. Yep, cloudy day. Time to shut off the solar pump for a moment and get back to work. Yep, let the solar charge it all up. You're gonna have to get more panels if you want it to go forever.